Imagine a house built today lasting until the 27th century. It won't be the result of a new high-tech material, but of the same wooden technology that has existed for the past 2,000 years. Jonathan Orpin and his company, New Energy Works in Shortsville, New York, are helping rediscover the craft of timber framing.
Only about 10 years ago was the serious timber frame revival started. It's a revival that we're seeing incredible increase in interest in, and I think because as once timber framing was known for its craftsmanship and its practicality, once again the same reasons apply.
Timber framing is as old as written history. Timber was cheap, plentiful, easy to work with, and much lighter than stone. Surprisingly, some ancient stone buildings, such as the Greek Parthenon, were originally timber frame structures. Japanese carpenter guilds elevated timber framing to a high art still evident in the grace and majesty of their temples. It's a unique construction that uses no nails. Instead, it uses a century-old system called joinery, using cuts, notches, and pegs to fasten frame pieces. It forms a self-supporting structure, unlike modern stud frame homes, which rely on plywood for rigidity.
Basically what we do is we send a crew out ahead of time to start putting together what's called bent. And that's the main part of the house, and that's what you'll see on the sides of each bay. What forms a bay is two bents, and we'll construct those bents out on the ground. Then we'll bring out a raising crew. That takes about 3 days to put it all together.
With the help of a crane, the raising crew lifts the bents into place. Connecting beams are put into place and supported while the next bent is raised. The newly formed bay is then squeezed together with come-alongs, rafters called purlins, and floor joists are dropped in next.
I think the key when you are putting these together is to take your time. Today it's going very fast, but sometimes it doesn't go so fast, or if it's raining, we work half the speed. Today, this kind of weather's like a gift.
The hard work and pride felt by the workers on raising day is shared with family, friends, and curious neighbors, be it providing food and refreshments, or just standing back to watch. The raising actually culminates months of preparation. First, architectural plans must account for the type of wood used, load stress, deflection, and span length. Then 3 to 4 weeks are spent by shop craftsmen producing the frame pieces and joints. Much of the joint work is done by hand, with tolerances no greater than 1/32 of an inch.
Everything you see in the inside when you stand on the inside of the house will be exposed to the inside of the house. What we do is we wrap the outside in a product called stressed skin, which is layers of insulation and drywall and a nail base, in this case an oriented strand board on the outside, so that we are wrapping the outside just like a blanket, just like you'd put a blanket over a piece of furniture. That's exactly what we're doing.
Stress skin and a search for better insulation is what led Jonathan to timber framing. It prevents heat transfer through the frame and almost eliminates drafts.
So that's how we get our high qualities of insulation, but it's also how we manage to keep everything exposed to the inside.
Red oak is a popular wood, although a homeowner can choose from a variety of woods, including pine, hemlock, cherry, or black walnut. Harvey and Yvonne Limbeck used the structural advantage and beauty of a timber frame to create the airy, open appeal of their new home.
The mellowness of the oak, it's red oak, and it's got oil and turpentine on it, which gives it the coloring, and it gradually darkens, I think, with age. The corner braces, instead of just being straight going up, they've got a little bit of a curve to it, and it gives the appearances of good workmanship and people who cared.
The cost? Comparable to a quality-built stud frame home. After the timber frame has been raised, a fresh pine bough is nailed to the roof peak in a way of thanks to the wood which was used, and as a blessing of happiness and prosperity to its new owners.
Durability is probably a pretty special issue with me. I think the greatest compliment I've gotten so far is a client came up and said, "You're building the heirlooms of tomorrow." And that was pretty special. Hey, take your hands and throw them in the air! Go! Woo!